Hi everyone, join me today to make this adorable card using the Waterside Retreat Designer Series paper available to customers in May. But if you're a demonstrator, you can get it now. All right, thank you for joining me. My name is Marianne Cowan. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Ottawa, Canada. And I had seen someone online make a cute card, and so I recreated it using the Delicate Dreams Designer Series paper. But when I was able to pre-order from the new catalog, one of the first suites that I ordered was the, now what's the suite called? It's called Relaxing Waterside Dies, is what the dies are called. And they are just so cute. You've got little Adirondack chairs, have a great birthday, here's to a new chapter, that's a great sentiment, relax, today is your day, happy Father's Day, and Dad. And when I was at On Stage, someone presented this suite, and her scrapbook pages and cards were amazing. I think her name is Jennifer, she's Canadian, and I think she used to be with Close to My Heart. So here are the dies. So you get the dies to make this adorable little chair. I'll just put the pieces here. So you can design it actually two different ways. There's another chair that you stamp and die cut, but this one you kind of assemble. Look how cute this is. So you could have an Adirondack style chair, or you could have this type of chair. And I did it in pecan pie, but actually I love bright colored Adirondack chairs. So I think when I put it on a card, I'm going to switch up the color. So that's one of the dies. It also has, I'll go back to the stamp set, a little book, a coffee cup, and there's die cuts for those. There's the coffee and the book is somewhere. Oh no, that's the book. This is the coffee cup. And then it also has some seagrass that you can cut out. Anyways, this is going to be a really fun set to play with. But I didn't realize that not all provinces, I'm from Canada, so not all provinces have a lot of lakes. We do have a cottage on a lake in Quebec, and Quebec has more than 1 million lakes. And I think Ontario has either 250,000 or 500,000, quite a few, but not as many as Quebec. Quebec has a lot of lakes. Anyway, so we're up at our cottage quite a bit in the summer, so this is going to be perfect. We have a lot of summer birthdays, and a lot of them are my brothers, so it'll be perfect for them. So the Waterside Retreat Designer Series paper, Gray Granite, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, and Very Vanilla. And it has a bit of a vintage look to the like the life jackets. These are definitely not life jackets like we would have now at the cottage. So they're a little bit vintage, which I love. And there's a bicycle. Our family loves to cycle. And these are some markers and a ring, wood grain, fish. So what I did for my first playing with it is I went ahead and fussy cut out the elements on the page. Oh yes, and there's this other sheet that has these scenes. Can you imagine just putting your Adirondack chair right there? Just so pretty. I'm sure I'm going to be using a couple of packs of this, and that gorgeous. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So I went ahead and fussy cut some of the fish, some of the life jackets, and the little markers. I don't know what the official name for those are. And even the ones that are only half, because you can tuck them at the corner of the side of one of your cards or your end cards, or if you're layering stuff up, you can put them behind. And there's also die cuts for seagrass and a little seagull, which I haven't colored yet, but anyways, so I die cut a bunch of stuff. I like to die cut a bunch of stuff and then figure out what I'm going to be doing. And it also has these trinkets. They're loose anchor trinkets, and they're quite robust. No, that's not the right word. they're heavy, so you wouldn't be able to mail that in a card. But when we're celebrating summer birthdays, we're usually up at the cottage, so I don't need to be putting it in the mail. All right, so we're going to start with this card. So this card was my inspiration, and I apologize, I can't remember who I saw make it, but I made it with the Delicate Dreams paper. And when we had our team get together, we made it actually. And it's just such a pretty fold. Now it does use a piece of paper that's 6 by 5 1/4. So you would only be able to get 4 from a sheet of paper. I just really like it. Okay, and it helps if the paper kind of coordinates front and back. So I started with gray granite because that's one of the colors. And then I had, whoopsie, this, but it looked a little too washed out. So I added old olive. So we're going to put that just to give it a little pop of color. Now, if you wanted to, you could also make this a regular card so you have space for your message, but you're going to have space for your message right here. And I do have the measurements here, so I'll put it right there. All right, so we can go ahead and glue these pieces down. So here's the piece I chose. So it's got the wood grain and it has all these buoys. They're not really buoys. And life preservers. I used to be a lifeguard. I should know these things. They're the things you put in between your boat and the dock so that your boat does not hit the dock and scratch your boat. Okay, so we got that. So this one is not, this piece is not on here because I just added it at the end, but it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's just an 1/8 smaller than the designer series paper, or an 1/8 bigger than the base, however you want to look at it. Is anyone else in a craft room today? Here in Ottawa, we're getting actually nice weather. I was out in my gardens, but I came in to do my Facebook Live because I usually come live Fridays at 3. Okay, so now we need our little piece that goes inside and folds the other way. So I did pick Pool Party. Here's my little half fish. So this piece is 3 1/2 by 6, and then you score it at 3 inches. And then the DSP is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. So this might be enough room for your message. If not, you can make the base into another card. And remember I said to save your little fishy, or your little ones from the edges. So we're going to pretend that we have fish going into the water. And I think I had another one. Oh yeah. And then we have this little one just swimming along. So there we have our little inside. So cute. So now this is going to go here, and I'm going to just center it. My glue is actually working today. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to center it. I think it's a little bit higher than center, but that's okay. Now I probably should have done this next spot before. Let's fold this out so it doesn't get in the way. All right, so then I had my designer series paper, but again, I needed to pull in the green. So I added a little piece, again, just an 1/8 of an inch bigger. So the green pieces are not on this, but you don't need to have them. Oh, thank you whoever's watching. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. So let's put this here. This is a card you'd probably not make a whole bunch of. I would make one for my brother. My birthday's July 22nd. My brother's is July 23rd. And my brother-in-law's is July 30th. All right. then I thought I want to make it so it's like a little porthole. So I took the nature dies, the circle dies, and I cut out a little rim. So I had one die here and then the smaller die inside. I will say it was quite tricky to get this one out of the die. In fact, it ripped right here, but I'm going to put something over that. And now as I'm looking at it, I wish I had done a little bit of coloring maybe behind it, but it is what it is. And then I just I punched out a circle. You can see I didn't even put it on properly. And then I used foam adhesive strips, and I put the foam adhesive strip on the back of this, just around the back, around the edge. It's easy to bend it. And there we have my less than perfect little porthole. Is that what it's called? Okay, so that's just going to go on with glue because it's already popped up. So we're going to center that. So here's how we're looking. Cute, I'd say. And then I just got some elements from the ones that I fussy cut. So I have a little green life jacket. I think that's going to go here. I have to make sure I don't go outside. I did the oars. And remembering that it's going to look like this. So we want to, no, I think I want to put those under. Just like that. I guessed where to put the glue. And then I have one of these little guys. Oh, it goes this way. There's the string. And I have my life jacket, I have this, and then I have my little trinket. And what I did is I just took linen thread and just put it through and tied a knot. I doubled it, put it through, and then tied a double knot. So I think what I'm going to do here, I think I need to put a dimensional on this side. Let's see if that's going to work. I think I put it over a little too far because I don't want it going off the side of the card. Okay, now I need a fresh one, but now I know where to put it. Okay, so right about there. And then a little bit of glue. So even with the dimensional, okay, now I'm seeing a flaw in my design. Even with the dimensional, it hits a little bit. Okay, so that's not going to work because when I open it, it doesn't open properly. So I need to put this down lower. Good thing to notice though. So I can't have anything higher than that. Now where was that little bauble? We can put that up there. There's a little bit of glue there already. And then our little charm. And I'm going to try putting this on with glue dots. I haven't used one of these yet. There's one way with the knot looks better than the other. Don't really like it there. There we go. All right. Have a great birthday. Awesome. Now you could add little embellishments or whatever, but this card already has a lot going on. So I don't think I'm going to. You could actually, oh, you know what I am going to do is add Wink of Stella to the fish. And then it makes it look like the scales are shiny. All right, there we go. Have a great birthday. Love it. So really cute fun fold. There's the instructions. I'll leave it there for just a second so you can take a screenshot. And then we're going to make one more card. Just check for any comments. I never seem to be able to see the comments, but that's okay. Oh, hi Lise. Really simple little card to make. All right, so let's put that on here now, so I'll remember next time. And we're going to make one other one, not a fun fold, but I did see this at the demonstration at Long Beach, but also I had done this before with another paper that we had, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, I got a fish. So I started out, this page is also a big sheet. Let me find it. So some of them are designed probably for scrapbooking. So this is a piece of this. So I strategically cut it and adjusted it several times to make it so that I just had the birds at the top. And then this is Misty Moonlight. Oh, look at the back, that's gorgeous. This paper, the fronts and the backs are gorgeous. And now that we're moving into summer here in Canada, well, it's spring right now, but summer's next, and we're going to be at the cottage. These are perfect to have. Okay, so let's glue this on. I just have a white card base. I don't have the measurements written down for this, but this is just 4 by 5 1/4. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then just a regular card base. Okay, so we have that, and I had this extra little piece. I'm just going to stick that inside. All right, there we go. I always like to use up those little pieces because otherwise they just end up in the bottom of your paper pack. Okay, so there we go. So what I did is I took the piece of paper that looks like wood grain, and then I cut it to look like stumps that you'd see. Our son lives in Vancouver, so we see these all the time when you go down to the ocean. The stumps right near the docks where the birds sit, the seagulls sit on top of. Okay, so what I did is I took it and I trimmed it, each one down a little bit. I started to use a blending brush and then I didn't like the look of it, so I actually trimmed it down more. And then I took some linen thread and I just wrapped it around a couple of times. We had a set a while ago that had these really cool pebble stone embellishments as well, and I did this technique for a card because it was right down by the beach. Okay, so let's try to tie this without it coming undone. All right, and you want them different heights, so I'll just lower that one down a little bit. And we're going to trim that off. And then if you're fussy and you want it all making sure it hangs down, you can put a little glue dot there. Okay, let's put a glue dot there. I'm not really that fussy, but because at the ocean, it's going to be flying around. So then I just took 2 of these little guys and tucked them up here, but I'm not going to put them on yet until I'm sure that's where I want them. So I did have to fiddle around and make sure that this is going to fit. And I am going to pop this whole thing up. I think I'm going to use some of these things. Now the other thing I was thinking I could do, but on my next card maybe, is cut one of these off and put it in front so it's even more 3D. But for now, I'm just going to do it like this. And then I think I'll put one just up there. These adhesive foam sheets are excellent when you have a big panel like this. You want to make sure it's not going to get squished. It's probably overkill on the dimensionals, but it's going to look good. I'm sure you could think of someone who would love this card. So I'm going to tuck it right down in the corner. And then then I had this, which I was going to tuck over in the corner there. But then, and I may have just ruined my chances, I could put it right there because as I was playing with this, I thought it'd be fun to have a little bucket of fish. Because if you're down by the pier, probably someone's fishing. So I was looking for a bucket, and if I had the set that had the not the snails, the flower pots and stuff, I could have used that. But I did find this die, which is from this set. So what I did is I ran this off in that new paper that we have that I can't remember the name of, but it looks like metal. So I ran it off, so here it is. And then I cut it big enough for my bucket. I didn't cut it in half, that would have been a bit big, so I just wanted it that size. Then what I did is I took it, I'll just trim this one. It has this little rim around it, so I just went like this and cut it very carefully and made a handle. Ooh, I almost went too far there. So then I took this and my bucket and I glued it right like that. Well, let's just try this. Just to show you, I don't need another bucket, but it doesn't matter if the glue still shows because you're going to be gluing it down anyways. The tricky part was it's a little bit bigger because I trimmed it off the outside. So I just made sure I put it evenly on each side. And really it's going to flatten in the card anyways. Oopsie. It is now stuck to my finger. All right, I'm just trying to make sure I get it the same. Okay, that's good. There you have it. You have a little fish bucket. Okay, so that's how I made that. And then I just took a couple of fish, remembering the ones that are only half fish are perfect for this. And these ones aren't even glued on yet because I was just playing around with it. But I better put some glue under there. That's coming off a little bit. Okay, so now I have a little fish bucket. And I probably shouldn't have put that down quite so low. All right, now we're going to decide, do I want the fish bucket here? Okay, I'm going to switch these around and put the fish bucket here. And maybe these two. No, I don't like that. Do you ever get an idea in your mind and then you start playing and you're thinking, okay, that's not quite what I wanted. All right. Now, if I hadn't put the glue down, I could move that. Let's just go here. I'm overthinking. Do you ever do that? Overthink, and it's like, just put it down. All right, so I'm going to put dimensionals. I may change my mind when I go to place it. If I could put this higher, that would solve my problem. There. because originally in my design I had it over here. Well, I had it in many different places, to be honest. Okay, and then a bit of wink of Stella on the fish to make the scales look shiny. And then for the sentiment, I have this little guy, so I'm just going to trim it and put it right up to there. And that is just going to get glued flat, because I think I have enough going on in this card. I love sets where you can make little scenes like this. So these need to get put on. Now I did have the little seagull, but I didn't like how it looked. It looked too small. Plus I had all these big seagulls, and then this one sitting here just didn't look right. But on another card it will look really cute. Okay, we got relax, and now we just need to pop a bit of glue here and here. And you could also, for these, you could have cut off that string and put another string on it like the linen thread, but I didn't. All right, that's good enough. Good enough. So I really love this stamp that says relax. I think that's one that's going to get a lot of use. Okay, let's leave our one little fish there. Get rid of all this stuff so that I can show you the two cards, and you can tell me which one is your favorite. And if you have anyone that you think might like a card using these products. Okay, so let's leave our little fish. So there we have card 1 and card 2, which is this cute little fun fold. Now, as I'm looking at this jacket, I might have needed to put 2 dimensionals here because it's bending a little bit, or because these are a little thicker than our dimensionals. What I could have done is put a little strip of this instead of a dimensional, and I might fix that after I get off camera. Here's our little pail made out of the sentiment die. So that was cute. And here's our little trinkets. Okay, which is your favorite? Card 1, we did them this way. Card 1, fun fold. Or card 2, not fun fold, just a lot going on. With our little bucket of fish. I'd love to know in the comments which one you like best. So thanks for joining me today. I do appreciate it if you like or share my video. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button so that you will know the next time I go live or post a video. Thanks everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend. Have a great day.